Green Lantern Corps number 11, written by Peter Tomasi, art by Fernando Pasarin. Last issue left off with the Alpha Lanterns fighting against this group of other Lanterns who were protecting Guy and John, and apparently draining their rings of all of their power. And this issue picks up with just the consequences of that, where they're just beating the ever-loving crap out of these Lanterns. And one of them is like, find the willpower to fight through it, guys. And everyone else is like, oh my god, we're so dead. We are absolutely dead and there is no hope of survival. So we then see that all of them are encased in little Green Lantern construct cells. And the Alpha Lanterns say, like, you will all pay dearly for this mutiny. So we see them fly them over to the science cell. And they're like, okay, we've locked on to Guy and John's signatures. They're leaving the planet. Salak, guy in charge of the all the ins and outs and all that, we need you to activate a firewall. Nobody in or out until we say so. And Salak's like, with all due respect, people need to be able to get to their lanterns, so I can't exactly do that. And they're like, well, with all due respect, we're ordering you. And he's like, well, with all due respect, screw you, signing out. And then we see the Guardians are watching over this, and it's like, wow, there's a whole lot of dissension going on around here. Should we intervene? And everyone's like, no. Just let this play out a little bit, see what happens. So the Alpha Lanterns zoom out trying to catch up with Guy and John off planet, but it turns out the whole time they were actually just more Green Lantern constructs. They weren't actually there. So they're somewhere on the planet. That's all that the Alpha Lanterns know, but they can't get a chase on them. So we see where Guy and John are. They've made their way down into the deep, foundry of where rings are made on the planet. It's just pure willpower being pulled out from the planet. And John, as soon as he wakes up, he just clocks Guy in the face and is just like, that's for knocking me out. How dare you? He's like, yeah, I get that. Fine. Anyway, we got to find something in order to deal with the Lanterns there. Hey, there's a whole big thing of nothing but rings that are just sitting there. Let's just use all the extra rings. And as Guy goes to mess with it, it turns out that because of the raw, unchanged, unprocessed willpower, it's actually incompatible at the moment, or at least the place where they're being held he can't get through. So it's like, all right, new plan. Let's see what else we got down here. And apparently this area is where the Guardians just keep all their failed projects. They go by the Scions, the Manhunters, the Alpha Lanterns, just a whole bunch of failed projects that they all keep down here. And John reminisces it's like they were trying to make the perfect warrior. Okay, Guy, I have an idea. And he starts taking all these different parts from all these different things and starts fusing them together. So then we cut back to the science cells where the Lanterns are being held, and Kilowog's being tortured by the Alpha Lanterns, and they're like, hey, just tell us where they are, man. You clearly know. And he's like, I don't know, diddly, and I ain't telling you anyway. So at this point, one of them steps in and is just like, hey, all right, maybe we shouldn't be torturing fellow Green Lanterns. That seems like it's a bit beyond the level of what we should be doing. And they're like, this is what we have to maintain order. We have to do whatever. And it's like, right, but this is really bending the law just so we can maintain the law. Do you see the issue here? So there's some dissension even within the own ranks there. But as they're talking about it and as they're trying to figure out where John and Guy are, John and Guy show up along with a whole army of robot creations from the center of this planet. And they just straight up, full-on assault, all start attacking. Salak is even in there, and he's like, attention all Green Lanterns. There's currently a fight in the science cells. Everyone kick the Alpha Lantern's ass. So the entire rest of the Corps is now just beelining their way to attack the Alpha Lanterns. And the Guardians are still sitting there like, just keep it going. Let's see how this plays out. Let's keep going. So the fight continues on, and they're like, what are these things made of that we're not able to drain them of their willpower? And it's like, oh, they're made of raw, unprocessed willpower, which I guess isn't compatible with you guys. But they will run out. They do have a finite amount. So it's like, all right, so we just got to tear them apart or wear them down. Easy enough. So they keep on fighting, doing what they can. One of the Alpha Lanterns gets a hold on Guy and John, and it's just like, stop this now, end this peacefully, and I won't destroy you. And they're like, go to hell. We're not playing by your rules anymore. And as he's trying to do this, all these broken pieces of the robots and other creations are forming together like the end of Iron Giant style, where they're all just moving in, merging into one big creature, until finally the one that's holding John and Guy captive, the Alpha Lantern, he's met by this giant beast of just this hunk of flesh and metal, and it's just like, no lantern will escape the Manhunters. And yeah, that's the ending reveal. It's very interesting to see how fast like everyone was pissed off with basically Internal Affairs. Like, I get that this is basically just a cop book, and I get that like Internal Affairs, when it comes from the cops being the heroes, Internal Affairs is always the bad guys. But it's so interesting to see like, no, we're just gonna straight up like mount an assault on them. Like, that's something else. I like it. I think it's very well told. They do a good job of laying out like, okay, here's what Guy and John's plans are. They showed how these things were built and how they fueled them up and stuff like that. They did a good job throughout. Honestly, no, it's not even a critique. I do like the idea that some of the Alpha Lanterns are also changing. They're also like, now hold on. We're here to maintain law and order, but like we're breaking the law and order in order to maintain law. You see the scope here? Like we can't bend the laws for our own sakes and then say it's okay for other people to do it. So yeah, it's taking interesting routes. I'm very much enjoying this. I'm not sure how much specifically is left in this arc, but I gather it's going to be at least a little while. So I'm interested to see where it goes from here. Overall, I'm going to give this one a 7.5. I really do enjoy it. And yeah, not much more to say.